Thank you for joining the San Francisco Tech Council at our July webinar on loneliness, isolation, and technology. Here, in part 2 of our conversation, we welcome Angela Di Martino from Curry Senior Center. As Wellness Program Manager, Angela oversees the Health and Technology Program, Senior Vitality, which provides tech training and health coaching to reduce loneliness and improve health. Thank you for joining us, Angela.
Senior Vitality is a 12-month health and technology program at Curry. Our goals are to improve our clients' technology skills, reduce their loneliness, and improve their healthcare self-management. So in the technology part of it, we provide them home Wi-Fi service for the 12 months that they're enrolled in the program, an iPad, a Fitbit, and a digital scale. We provide group classes, one-on-one health coaching, and one-on-one computer tutoring. So folks attend the class, and then we follow up with them every month with a health coach, and then they get support from a tutor to help understand the lesson and learn more about the technology. And then the health coach uses the technology such as the Fitbit, the scale, and trusted health information online to help the clients support their goals and build confidence in their skills in managing their health. So this is just a nice shot of pre-COVID. This is our cohort 5, which is all Cantonese speaking on the left. And we partner with St. Francis Living Room as well as San Francisco Senior Center. And Community Tech Network is our instructors and provides us our tutors. And then Curry is the program staff as well as the health coaches. And then this is one of our health coaches and a client. And I think they're on the line to enjoy this call, which is nice. So as you can see, we are all together in a group, less than 6 feet apart, no masks, etc. So this is our services pre-COVID. So once March 17th rolled around, we had to make some quick changes to figure out what to do for our clients. So obviously group classes were out immediately. And so the first thing we did was engage our partners and our staff to work together on creating a YouTube channel for our group. And we're up to about 50 videos so far in Russian, Chinese, and English. Those are the languages of our 7 cohorts that are enrolled. And we divide the lesson into sort of about 10 to 13-minute lessons, and we divide the lesson into specific parts of what they would be getting in class, and then our instructors run through all the steps. So we share that YouTube channel a few times a month. We send out updates, and then we promote people getting subscribed to that channel. We focused on the lessons where we sort of left off right in March. So right when things got canceled, we had 3 active cohorts who were still in the first year of our program that were midway through our curriculum. So we identified what was coming next, but then we quickly realized that it wasn't so important that we, do a lesson, let's say on, the calendar or maps or something, and instead we wanted to focus more on communication, connection, and other sort of health related lessons. So we went back to our curriculum, reordered it a little bit for things that were more important, things like FaceTime, Zoom, and some other apps like that. So another thing we've done post-COVID is we've started hosting weekly Zoom Hangouts with our clients. We first started with some of our more techie clients who had already graduated from our program and were now in our 1-year follow-up program, which we call the maintenance program. So these were folks that were already pretty comfortable with technology, and we got them, doing Zoom somewhat quickly. And so we're actually in week 9 of doing Zoom Hangouts. We started with like a broad, just saying hello to people and checking in. And now we've started like creating and curating more of a theme for each week. So last week we invited our friends at Muttville Senior Dog Rescue to come to our Zoom and talk about senior dogs and senior people. And next week, one of our employees who's from Georgia, the country of Georgia, is going to give us information about Georgia, and we're going to talk about people's backgrounds. So we've really seen an increase in interest in this, and from folks that we didn't even expect, and they had heard about it from some of their colleagues. So we've wanted to keep it like a manageable size too. We have 83 people enrolled in our program currently, and we didn't really have 83 clients that maybe were comfortable with Zoom. And so we've invited like more and more people each week, which has been a nice growth. Other things that we're doing to keep those social connections going during COVID and using the technology is we have group chats for each cohort. So on iMessage, on the iPad, we have everyone in the group, and we kind of share some messages back and forth. And actually the one on the left was really sweet. One of our colleagues had mentioned that one of his friends passed away, and then people kind of like shared music with him, and then also like talked about like, supporting him, that he was a good friend, and, people talked about missing each other. The other one was one of our clients was going through a health scare, and she had mentioned that she was having these medical conditions, and, people started chiming in and, sending her, we're thinking about you. And, I love that she says, I hope to see you soon. Knowing I have you all keeps me going. So it's nice to see that we're trying to use some of the technology tools that we're teaching them to keep them connected, but also to know that people are caring about them, even though we might not be seeing people in person. So another huge part of the program is tech support. And as I'm sure there's a lot of people on the calls know, the technology has problems, new operating system, they get kicked off, they put their password in too many times the wrong way, and their Apple ID is messed up or whatever. So we do a lot of phone calling tech support for every single participant in our program. We've made over 500 calls since COVID started, anywhere from a little bit of time to an hour at a time. And we've started doing them, we started by phone, and then that slowly picked up with some other technology options as the clients got more comfortable. We really tried to, push the envelope a little bit to say, hey, do you want to do something on FaceTime? And I've done a lot of tech support myself, and I've seen some people who were a little bit, against that in the beginning. They were shy, or they didn't want me to see their apartment, or they felt like, they looked like a mess. Once we had more comfort with each other talking so frequently, we were doing FaceTime audio, and then we moved it up to FaceTime video and things like that. We recently did a Zoom lesson for our YouTube channel, so we're really trying to promote that as a way to help them understand Zoom and, use it to access other classes and a lot of good things that are available in San Francisco and other agencies are doing. So we track every comment and topic that we go over in tech support, and especially if there's something that means they're not able to use their iPad. This was someone who had an issue with her Apple ID. Her iPad was not responsive, so we did see her in person in the office at Curry, socially distanced with hand sanitizer and temperature screening and all that stuff, so that we could get her iPad working again so she could take it home and use it. So some other topics, we help people access Zoom, we help people get onto our YouTube channel, and then we explore all the features. And this was in the Chronicle in May. 2 of our clients in our iPad program were featured in an article about how coronavirus was impacting seniors in San Francisco. And I thought it was interesting. Both of our clients are very techy and good at and really participate a lot. But, one person, CJ, noted that, a lot of our resources have moved online or to the phone, but that doesn't really help his social life in his view. Whereas Pat, our other client, said if she didn't have her iPad, she would have jumped out the window. So there's sort of, like Ashwin said, there's diverse views of what helps people. And so we're trying to do we're trying to meet a lot of different needs. So we do phone, we do in person if we can, and we also incorporate a lot of technology solutions. We've started thinking about life post-COVID and what that's going to look like for our program so that we can still be providing an important service. So we did a survey of our clients last month. So 65 out of 83 clients responded to our survey, which we did by phone. And we asked them a bunch of different questions, but two of them specifically to try and get a sense of what their thoughts are, and mainly to help inform us about opening our classes up and what that might look like and what their interest was. So in terms of how important and we were trying to get at the in-person classes mainly, like should we start looking at opening up? And we wanted to know how important were these classes for spending time with others. So 81.3% felt it was important or very important to spend time with others at these classes in person. And then 78.5% were definitely likely to attend in person if we reopen. So one of the things that was interesting is we had different types of feedback depending on where people were in our program a little bit. And we also had differences culturally, like our Cantonese cohort was a little bit more hesitant, and a lot of feedback was about fears of the neighborhood and also the transportation to where we have our classes. So, one background information is that we did these surveys right when there were a lot of riots and a lot of the CVS on 7th Street was set on fire, and we were calling people to ask them if they wanted to come back to lessons and come into the Tenderloin for classes. So it was interesting that they were still so much interested in coming back, but they did comment on that, their fears about the Tenderloin and the neighborhood. So one of the outcomes of this is that we've identified like some transportation options to help support our clients get to and from classes. And then when we did a follow-up questionnaire of 10 of our clients who were in one certain group, we called them to see if having transportation would make it more likely. And 10 out of 10 of them said that they would come to class in person if they could get transportation. So it was kind of interesting to learn that. And then in honor of this presentation, I called and asked my staff to call a bunch of clients last week to get specifically, can you tell us what is the impact of technology on your sense of loneliness during this time? So these are actual quotes from people last week. And I just highlighted some of the interesting parts. If it wasn't for technology, I wouldn't see anybody or talk to anybody. Because of social distancing, I feel isolated and abandoned, but my client talks to her grandson on her iPad. And someone said interacting with the class on Zoom or in person is extremely important to me. And the other person said technology has a positive effect on loneliness, but talking to a person is even better. So, I was talking to this person about our YouTube channel, and she was saying she used it as a great tool to refer to, but she liked that I called her to also help her with her question. And then some future challenges in planning for us. We're really working right now on figuring out what post-COVID classes in technology would look like for seniors, especially with our restrictions and the size of the class, where we can have it located, what PPE is needed, transportation, like I mentioned. Providing ongoing technology and equipment support is really necessary. There's so many times that people will come to a class and we have a lesson that we're going through, but at the same time they get other questions answered. They get questions answered from their peers or from the staff that's in the class, and it's not just the class topic that's being gone over that day. So, there are things that can hold them up from using technology because they can't get past a window that pops up or an error, or they can't remember a password, and that's why the in-person support is so needed. Related to that, we've engaged again some volunteer tutors to start calling our clients. They used to see people in person, but staff took that on when our volunteers weren't coming in person. So we've started working with volunteers to do calls, either FaceTime or by the phone, to help our clients. And also those troubleshooting things at home. We really feel like we need a navigator, someone that can go out to the home if necessary, because sometimes there are things that you can't understand or fix over the phone, or even, even if they describe it to you as well as they possibly can. And then client engagement, especially during COVID, with their fears of, whatever they're hearing in the news, and also, their own health fears. Some clients, when we did our survey in June, we asked questions about COVID and specifically and what they were worried about or what their concerns were. And, people ran the gamut from "don't touch my at-risk category" to "I can't wait for you to open, I'll be the first one at the door." So again, like Ashwin said, there's such a diversity in their needs, and identifying what are the barriers stopping the people who are afraid, or how can we mitigate those fears, or how can we make it easier for them and still provide them the service, is where we're trying to parse through right now. And I'm sure people who work with seniors in San Francisco, or low-income seniors, have experienced, phone issues. We run into this all the time. We are always updating phone numbers. Their phone goes out of service. They haven't paid their bill. We track down case managers, and it just takes a lot of time to keep that contact. And then what's going to be the new normal for our program? I think we're coming out at that combination of approaches, the in-person need, but also what can we do technology-wise? So we're going to be practicing some stuff with live streaming YouTube. We're going to be doing a live Zoom recording. We have a video editor that works with us to help us get our YouTube videos in really nice shape. And so there's also the continued need for that in-person support that I mentioned, because one of the clients was like, please don't stop calling me, even if you tell me how to do Zoom on the YouTube channel. I still want to, talk to a person. So that's kind of where we are with Curry. And I just want to say thank you to our partners. CTN is a big partner, and also our staff and funders who help us do this program.